Hey, what's up YouTube? JayDub here. Thanks for watching the video, and you just happen to be watching right now and aren't subscribed, go ahead and click that yellow button over there. Thanks. I'm going to be talking about TNA Slammiversary 2009. This is going to be my preview video. I'm going to be talking about the matches and going to be talking about some other stuff also. With this pay-per-view, my expectations going into this, well, not exactly my expectations, my hopes going into this pay-per-view is that it's a good pay-per-view. I hope it's a great pay-per-view. I hope it's excellent. I hope it's the best fucking pay-per-view in the history of all pay-per-views, of all wrestling pay-per-views. Because you want to know why? I have a ticket to Slammiversary. I'm going to be there live and in color. And this right here signifies me having at least a little bit of faith in TNA because I've invested money in them. I haven't invested interest in TNA. Now, I have a lot of new subscribers, so you all probably don't know unless you went back and watched some of my older videos. I've been in a feud with TNA, back and forth, or I actually can't call it a back and forth because it's basically them blocking me and me attacking them, week after week. I remember I did an Impact review, and I just did it like, my only words in the review was, it sucked. And that was just a whole review right there. But they blocked me from the YouTube channel. I kicked Jarrett into the pit of death and, all that crazy stuff. But you know what? I buried the hatchet. It's over and done with, let bygones be bygones. And I'm trying to have an open, opinion towards TNA. I'm trying to have an open opinion towards TNA. And I'm trying not to look for so many things to bash. I'm trying to, be open-minded. But with me paying for this pay-per-view, I want it to be a good show, and it better be a good show because, like I said, I had a pass with TNA, and I've bashed them plenty of times before. If this show is not good and I'm paying my money for it, they're going to get bashed. And I don't care what anybody has to say about it, and this is going to be the worst bashing that they've ever gotten. This is going to be a bashing on epic proportions. And I'm going to bash the hell out of them if this ends up being a bad pay-per-view. Like that old saying, beat them like they stole something. I'm going to bash them like they stole something because in all actuality, if this pay-per-view ends up being a bad pay-per-view, they will have stolen over, stolen over $100 from me, because I bought this ticket expecting good entertainment. And if it's not entertaining, I didn't get what I paid for. So, like I said, my expectations and my hopes are two things, different. So I'm going to start talking about these matches right now. It's going to be a second chance match. Christopher Daniels versus Shane Douglas. Basically, Shane Douglas is facing Christopher Daniels. If he wins, he's going to take Christopher Daniels' spot on the TNA roster. There's no way in hell that Christopher Daniels is going to win this. Is going to lose this match after all that TNA has put him through and put all of his fans through. He ended up getting a briefcase with the Fired in it, which, with the Feast of Fire match, he ended up getting the one that says Fired. He wasn't actually released from TNA. He went on to play Curryman, went on to play Suicide, playing all these mask characters, but now he's back to playing himself. TNA, if they know what's good for them, they will not, put him through this and put his fans through this once again. So I have a little doubt in my mind that Christopher Daniels won't win this match. Like I said, he will. A Monsters Ball match, Abyss and Taylor Wilde versus Raven and Daffney. I guess I'm rooting for Daffney in this match. So I guess Raven, of course, he would have to win if I wanted her to win. So I guess that team can win. I really don't care for Abyss. I don't like Taylor Wilde. I don't care for Raven. Daffney is probably my favorite one out of this match because one of the big reasons why she's my favorite because she looks like Domino from the Marvel comics, with X-Men and everything. She was on the X-Force, I think it was. She looks just like Domino. If you don't know who that is, look her up. TNA Knockouts Women's Championship match, Angelina Love. Oh, and I don't even know why the hell TNA calls it a Monsters Ball match when they basically stripped Monsters Ball of all its meaning because it was supposed to be a match where the opponents there, secluded in places with no water, no food, no sunlight for 24 hours. Then they just get released after the day is over with to go wild on each other. But the gimmick for the match, they totally forgot about it. It's one of those things where they exercise creative control. You hear about it in the beginning, but they slowly stop talking about it until they think you forgot about it. But I didn't forget about it. So, basically it's just TNA, another case of them just trying to be different and calling the match a Monsters Ball match when basically it's just like a street fight. Knockouts Women's Championship match: Angelina Love versus Tara, or as I call her and will still continue to call her, Victoria. Now, I know I've bashed TNA in the past about bringing WWE talent in and putting them in the main event scene, and with Victoria being in TNA, she is like in the main event scene according to the Knockouts. I don't care in this situation. Like, I'm not even going to bash them. You can call me a hypocrite, say I contradicted myself, whatever, because if Victoria wins this match, this could be one of the highlights, if not the number one highlight of the pay-per-view for me, with me being there live. Because if I look at everybody on the list, only people that probably beat Victoria in my fan or liking of her is probably the Motor City Machine Guns and Kurt Angle. So Victoria will probably come in fourth out of the ranking on all the people that I like in TNA. So hopefully she wins this match. Hopefully she goes on to be in a long career in TNA, because and I know somebody asked me to talk about this. The reason why Victoria left WWE, I don't think she actually retired from the wrestling business, but she left WWE because she wasn't happy with the character that she was being portrayed as on TV. WWE wasn't fulfilling her they wasn't utilizing her potential, to its fullest ability, and utilizing her skill, because they basically had her on TV jobbing to Playboy bunnies and the skinny chicks that couldn't wrestle worth a damn. And Victoria, they actually have a talent right there, and Victoria, she deserves to be on the same, at least in the same conversation as Trish Stratus and Lita, pioneers of the WWE Women's Division when it was in its peak. She deserves to at least be in that conversation, because she did a lot for the women's division also. Like I said, I hope Victoria, I hope she wins this match. TNA World Tag Team Championship match: Team 3D versus Beer Money. Team 3D, they annoy me now. And Beer Money, I actually am starting to like them. When they kind of made that little, slight face turn, when they were kind of aligned with Team 3D, that really started me to appreciate them more. And it seems like they are back to being heels now. So that appreciation carried over, and they're a pretty good tag team. And them, along with the Motor City Machine Guns, are probably my favorite tag teams in the whole wrestling business, So, yeah, I'm hoping Beer Money wins this match, because Team 3D, like I said, they annoy me. They talk so much about how TNA has the best tag team division. What about that old saying, I can show you better than I can tell you? Stop talking so much about how it's good. Get in the ring and prove why it's good. Simple as that. Matt Morgan, he's fighting Sting for a chance to become a member of the Main Event Mafia. As much as I don't like Sting, as much as I think he should retire now, he should have retired 5-10 years ago, to be serious. As much as I don't like him, he probably should win this match, because Matt Morgan, he has a long way to go. I know he's been in the wrestling business for a while. He's not technically new blood, but TNA, they're putting some stock in him, trying to move him up to the heavyweight division, and I think that will probably be a bad move on TNA's part, because Matt Morgan, he's basically TNA's version of Batista, only there for looks, and he can't wrestle worth a damn. He has to try immensely just to put on a quality wrestling match, and full of botches. That's what Matt Morgan, when you put that's what Matt Morgan is made of. So, yeah, if they did this with Matt Morgan, that would show that, the TNA fans, they talk about how TNA cares so much about putting on quality matches, cares so much about the fans, has such great talent. That will show, and those are attributes that the TNA fans will say weren't in WWE. If Matt Morgan moves to the main event scene, that will show that TNA and WWE are basically birds of a feather. So if you have to bash one on those points, you have to bash the other also. Simple as that. Next match tonight: King of the Mountain for the X Division Championship. One of the hometown boys has to win, either Alex Shelley or Chris Sabin. I'd be happy if either of those guys win, but I'm a bigger fan of Alex Shelley, so hopefully he wins the match. Of course, Suicide will be in the match because he's defending his championship, and Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed will be in the match also. I'm hoping that this match is actually given time to be a good X Division match, because TNA, they're good when it comes to the fast-paced matches, and, they have a couple of hot spots and everything, and, their matches just go like that. Like the match with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels a couple of weeks ago on Impact, that had the possibilities of being a good match, but it just didn't go on for too long, because TNA, the quality of the match is what they're constrained in, they're good. But if you give them a little bit longer time to build up and everything, I think it'll be a good match. But moving on to the championship match, Mick Foley versus Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. In a perfect world for TNA, AJ Styles should probably win this match because he hasn't had a heavyweight championship in TNA since 2005, and he hasn't even held it. And that was like the NWA Championship. He hasn't even held the TNA World Championship. But just for me, probably Kurt Angle. I would say Kurt Angle. I want Kurt Angle to win this match. The King of the Mountain, I've never seen one before, and this is like an innovative concept. It's like a reverse ladder match. Instead of going up and getting the championship, you have to hang the championship up to win. But, you know, some crazy stuff has to come along for you to even be able to do that. So hopefully this pay-per-view will be good. And if it's not, I'm going to do it accordingly. But I'm not going there to nitpick on things. I actually want to, you know, see what the experience is about. So, yeah. Peace out.